Hey, if you've been struggling to, get that confidence for creating your YouTube channel or really just want a simple guide on how to get started so you could follow along, this video is going to be covering the equipment, the software setup, the editing setup, everything you may need to get your first videos launched and even give you some ideas on how to get started. So let's check it out right now. Okay, so when you go into youtube.com, the first thing you'll need is your own channel. So I've already created several channels and helped in my marketing channel help for others. The main ones I focus on is going to be my 20 subs. We're starting from zero. Literally, I'm on this journey with you. But this Blend Logic Tech channel has 2,000 subs. So I'm kind of running both. Then I had some other stuff I've tried to make throughout the years. So the easiest way to start your own channel is when you go to view all channels, you go in here and click create a channel. So here you're creating a YouTube channel with any name, any settings, stuff of that nature. So this one can be, if you want to start, for example, lifestyle tips, you can say lifestyle tips. Understand, hit create, goes to the page setup, and really from there you're just launched and ready to go. Um, so one of the first things you'll want to do when making lifestyle tips, for some reason didn't even go to the thing. You want to switch over, make sure you're on the right account. Here you'll see that you upload videos and stuff of that nature. I prefer viewing things from YouTube Studio. So really from like the YouTube perspective, this is really all you need to get started is just create that channel and then start uploading. Now, for really people getting started, I hear a lot of things of like what camera equipment to get, stuff of that nature. So I'm going to leave kind of three options for everyone on what you could do to get started. The first basic option is just using your iPhone, your Android, and just getting a tripod and recording a video content of that nature. You could also hook it up to some software, which I'll showcase later in this video. Now, from a hardware perspective, what you're seeing from this is a Sony a6000. I think the most important part with DSLRs is getting the right lens, which is something that has lower than 2 f-stop or aperture. That way you get that blur effect. And then this camera right here is the EpoCam face cam. It's a 1080p camera I use for webcam conferences. It's pretty nice, as you can see. Then I add a blur effect with some software. You can get some pretty good footage from this as well if that's what you're aiming for. Both cameras will reach around $600, and the lens will put you around $800. I know just for getting started, that may seem kind of steep. So I feel like most people, when I consult with them, the best option is just getting started with their Android, getting started with their iPhone. So I'll leave links below for each camera and all the lenses that I have. That'll be in the description that you can check out below. This one's at 2022 running at just $500 for the base. Typically, it comes with a lens pack that you could get started. You could be running off the 1650 or even the 22, depending on how your setup is. And then the tripod, I'd simply just use one from Amazon. I feel like the Amazon basics work. Not this lightweight one. I actually got this one. It wasn't that great. Um, I'll leave a links below of ones I recommend that people get started with so they can get started creating that content, eventually getting that monetization, and just sharing your journey and eventually, depending on where you want to take it, how serious you want to go, if you want to take this as a full-time career, possibly going there as well. So next thing I want to talk about is the software component of the YouTube journey. So I recommend basically recording on your phone, or recording on these devices, and sometimes you could either transfer it with an SD card. Now that's the that like I would say that was the beginner's tips back in like 2012. I think at this point, if you're serious about getting started and you just want to like learn faster, if you were starting out as a beginner, you might as well learn this tip that can save you a lot of time. It's recording on your computer. So I've made a lot of videos on using OBS software, but you simply download the software, load it up, and then you could get something that I'm just gonna bring over the exact recording that I'm doing actually right now at this moment. I record in 4K. I have one camera down here, the other camera's here, so I use that for recording, and then I have two of my desktops being recorded like right now. So this one has the A6000 camera as the kind of overlay, and this has the mini one. So I'll leave links below how to use OBS, because once you start getting recorded here, it saves time of transferring all those videos, and then you get straight into editing, which is done through this free software called DaVinci Resolve. So this is like a fast content course. I, of course, will create more and have other content on how to get started on YouTube on both my personal blog that I'm growing from the 20 and also this channel, which focuses more on tech. So from the tech aspect, which is what I really wanted to cover, you'll to connect your cameras. Well, the webcam connects directly through USB. You can connect your iPhone directly through a software called Epicam, which I'll leave a link below. This just links up, and then you could use your iPhone as a webcam, kind of how it's showing right here. You just plug and play, install the drivers, and you're using your iPhone or Android directly on to your computer, ready to link up to OBS and ready to install. And then the last thing you might need is the HD60S Plus. So this is what I'm using to connect the DSLR to what this camera is showing right here, directly to the computer and recording off OBS. So this gives you low latency, and then you need an HDMI cable mini to, I don't know, let's say DSLR. It had like this mini spot to it. Maybe it's this micro. Yeah. This depends on the computer or your Ace. This depends on the DSLR. But for what you're gonna get, this is typically the slot. So most DSLRs use this micro. I'd recommend double checking, but for my recommendations that I'm listing down below, you're gonna need this to connect the HDMI output of your DSLR and actually hook it up to your capture card, which is the HD60. So again, just recapping on the hardware tech component, you need a A6000, a DSLR, the lens that will put you around $700. So really just getting started. I think a lot of times you might as well just make this investment and get started creating content. Otherwise, you could use this iPhone or Android to connect it with Epicam, or you could buy the face cam for $400 and record some content there. I think if you're going to be making content for the long term, it's been like 5 years since I've been producing content, and really just getting that second wind to kind of produce a specific focus area on just helping people grow through tech and making videos. You might as well just get an A6000, because that $700 ends up rounding out to now $100 a year. And I've produced a lot of content and had a lot of, honestly, consultations that have paid for that through my marketing channel and stuff of that nature. So then you're gonna need the capture card, which is $200, the cable, which is about 15, and then that covers it from like a hardware perspective. From a software perspective, you're gonna need OBS software, and then just hook up everything to the USB and start recording, either as just record the camera straight or record camera with desktop overlay, depending on the types of content you want to make. That should set you up ready to go and start YouTube. So after you've recorded all the content, depending on how you make your content, like some of my stuff I make is just straight form. I kind of lay out in my head and on paper what I want to say. Of course, unless you want to upload just your raw take, that is something that's possible to do. But you can check out this free software, which is called DaVinci Resolve, and then you can make it. So here I'm going to make this Blend Logic Tech. So here's like kind of the latest content I've been making. This is actually for this video, this is how I would make it, is just copy my previous thing, or you could create a new project. And then this one is equipment for YouTube. So now that you're in there, you make that project, and if you've never edited content before, this is going to be like the 5,000 foot view of how to edit the content that you're recording. So for the most part, when you start recording, it should create DSLR as a webcam. Oh, so this version actually didn't have a vertical timeline. So what I'm doing is I right click, I hit create a new timeline. This is where most of you will start out when making a new timeline. And then you have videos that are going to be recorded through OBS that you'll need to drag and drop into here. So for example, I'll just showcase this previous video I made. You simply drag and drop it, and it showcases the length of the video here. With that length of video, you simply would just go in and look at where you want to make your edits and cuts. The shortcuts for that is Control B. That will edit it. You could hold Alt and scroll in, and then delete and kind of navigate. So this is what the end product would be. Really going super fast, but this is the type of stuff that I'll be making more content on and making eventually kind of a monetized form of this, in either a group setting where people can be learning to go in office hours, or even just straight content course that I haven't made yet, but it's in the works of what I'd be offering. Because some people like to be taught my end-to-end system, and they like to even not only just see this, but like, how to research content, how to use Kanban to plan and organize with a team, what to upload, what to edit, stuff like that. So this is what I'm making right here. I'm actually in the midst of recording and editing, but for the most part, now that you have this done, this 100% free software, it's amazing. DaVinci Resolve, you would just drag what you want, the videos you want, edit them by cutting them up and putting them together. A tip for you, for content creators, is you use this audio form to kind of see where you stop talking, or where you need to make edits, and then just hit Control B to make that cut, and cut off the parts where no one's talking. You would then just export this video. It could come out, and then once you're ready to upload, you just upload the video. And then let's just look at previous videos, because once you upload it, basically you could save it as unlisted. But for the most part, in terms of like just getting started with YouTube, I really think that this video is towards someone who's looking to just learn what you should be doing immediately. Even though you're a beginner, it's like when you're practicing piano, you don't practice the wrong things, right? So in 2022, after the steep learning curve of various content courses and stuff like that, the gist of what you need to do is kind of have a little bit of paragraphs to let the algorithm know what your content's about. Leave some chapters, which would be like where in the content you made stuff. You could leave your affiliate links. That's how you can, another way to monetize. And then add some tags based on your research, or kind of just thinking about what people would search for to get to this video. Then that could really help when you're first getting started, get the initial views, and of course respond to every comment. So kind of a quick brain dump of information here, but for the most part, if you're going to anchor to something, get a DSLR or start with your iPhone, get DaVinci Resolve, hook everything up to OBS. I've made multiple videos on OBS to record on your computer, and then just start editing, putting something out there, sending it to friends and family first, seeing what they think of it. When they got lost, you could actually look at when people stopped watching your content, and then it's just the iteration game. So you'll need to learn how to do hooks, stuff of that nature, maybe a little bit of editing. But for the most part, that should get you started from an equipment, software, tech perspective on launching your YouTube channel, or even just producing other things. Using video to grow your influence, I would say, is the number one thing that you should be focusing on. Not just YouTube. You could repurpose these for other content, but for the most part, long form content with YouTube should get you started. So that was a long ramble. I know I, for the most part, sometimes have a lot of info and really need to get it more defined. But if you guys like this kind of content, on this channel will be a more technology focused, and then on my personal channel will be more behind the scenes, or even more elaboration, not just on content creation and growing a YouTube channel, but I've been road tripping for the past year, so I'm gonna put some content there as well. So check out both those channels, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.